What's happening, everyone? SconzE here with One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. We're going to continue the Summit War arc. We did a level with Law and Kid in the last one. Now, I think, yeah, we're going to be the Straw Hats this time. We'll wrap up here and move on to... I don't think this game does Impel Down. I think it does just go straight to Marine 4. They do, like, I guess a cutscene for Impel Down. But anyways, let's get into it. Also, last episode, good thing I remember this. Last episode, I accidentally ended the recording before I meant to. You guys didn't miss anything, but if you watch the last one, you wonder why it just cuts at the end. It's because when we were in that menu for, like, upgrading Zoro, I was trying to click something in the game menu, and then I accidentally clicked the stop record button because I had the thing up for it because I was just looking at the timer and stuff, and that was that. Dude, look how tall Brook is. Like, I know Brook is tall, but is it... I think it's also a combination. He's farther back. I think he's a little bit on that hill. But he's not that much taller, is he? Maybe he is. I know he's a lot taller, but that one's crazy. It's Rayleigh! Oh, they gave him the makeup 3D model treatment unlike Iceberg. That's right. Dude, Roger. The king of the pirates. I always wondered why he didn't stop the government himself. You know, if they knew the secret of the Void Century. But I guess maybe we'll never know. I mean, the whole reason that they give is he was like, it's too early for us. It's before our time. Oh, Joy Boy, I wish I could have been in the same time as you, and we'll leave it to the next generation. Like, buddy, what do you mean leave it to the next generation? You can do something. There it is, the question. And Luffy's gonna be like... It's like, that's it, you're out of the crew again! So I guess you're gonna quit being a pirate then, because I don't know if you guys realize what he said. If the old man can tell me anything about it, I'll quit being a pirate. He meant to say, if the old man does tell me anything about it, I'll quit being a pirate. I don't know if it's a typo in just the translation, or if that's what he actually said, and they just didn't realize what they were saying. But if it is that, well then, Luffy, you're no longer a pirate. This moment forward. Also, speaking of which, let me tell you guys something. Luffy is a fraud. He is a fraud. I know you guys like to make the jokes about Fraud Hawk. You know, about he paints his sword black, he doesn't actually have a black blade. But this is real. This ain't a meme. This ain't a joke like Fraud Hawk. No, Luffy is a fraud. And the reason I bring this up is because I was on TikTok and I saw someone, thankfully, someone posted this. But they talked about how they were basically calling out people who still think the admirals aren't Yonko level. And I'm like, glad, people really are coming around to it. Because I knew from the beginning, I was like, admirals they're Yonko level. They're up there, I think the Yonkos are definitely stronger, but the admirals they're up there as well, though. They're up there. They could compete. They could definitely compete. Like, two admirals versus a Yonko, and it's over. A Yonko versus admiral 1v1, the admiral's gonna lose, most likely. But debatable, because you have a Kainu who has... He's OP. I mean, he beat out Kiji. Not only that, his devil fruit, the most, I wonder if you could say it's the most powerful, because you have Whitebeard's fruit, but with one thing for sure, is the most offensive capabilities out of any devil fruit. It's the most offensive power to the highest degree, because Oda himself said that. Oda said, yeah, his is the most offensive powered devil fruit out of all of them. So I think like Whitebeard's, I guess maybe causes more destruction because of just like the scale of it with the earthquakes and everything. But like in terms of just like sheer power, like in an attack, the magma fruit does more damage. Anyway, that's besides the point. So someone was saying about that, and I was like, ah, good. You know, I'm glad to see it. And then someone said in the comments, someone was like, the admirals are not fighting Yonkos, blah blah blah, whatever. And I was like, oh, well, us stragglers still, you know, hooked on the old ideas, the way of old that the fandom thought. But so I replied to him and I said to him, oh, I bet you probably think Luffy beats Kizaru too, because that's another big debate that goes on around, and most people agree that Kizaru does in fact beat Luffy currently still. But some people think Luffy, you know, beat him. But either way, I mean, if Kizaru didn't give Luffy the food like that, then it was over. It was over. Kizaru would beat him in a 1v1. 1v1, no help, no interference, you know, anything. Just one-on-one. Kizaru wins. And this guy was going on saying different stuff, you know, he replied to me. Oh, like one thing he said about it, he's like, well, if Kizaru and Luffy fought in a one-on-one, you know, it would be an even fight. It's just Luffy has less stamina. So, you know, like, that's the only reason he would lose. Like, as if that's an excuse? Buddy, if you can't keep up in the fight, that's on you. Like, okay, you don't have enough stamina? Cool, that's not an excuse. That's on you. That just means you cannot keep up with Kizaru, and you just lose straight up outright. Like, it's all fair. And then anyway, he was trying to say, oh, but I'm saying it because, like, you know, it's like his strength is sets the standards for like Yonko of previous and new and stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Luffy is a fraud. Luffy is not Yonko level at all. Like he's not Yonko level. You take a look at Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, and Shanks, the original 4 Yonko. That is the standard. The new Yonkos are a joke, except Blackbeard. Blackbeard's OP because of his devil fruit and stuff. I guess you say Luffy with his devil fruit, like, but then Luffy just runs out of energy so quick, and so it's like worthless anyway. But like I said, that's not an excuse like to use. That's just he can't do it. He can't keep up. But like, and then you have Buggy, who he really shouldn't be the title of Yonko either. But you know what? I'd rather him a Yonko than a Luffy. It's not that I don't want Luffy a Yonko. It's more just he's just not at that level yet. And if anyone's gonna be Yonko who's not at Yonko level, I'll give it to Buggy. Because everyone loves Buggy. How could you hate the guy? He's classic. Anyways, besides the point. So he's saying about how, yeah, Luffy is comparable to Kaido and Big Mom and all that stuff. And I'm like, no. He would lose to all of them in a fight. And then, yeah, in a 1v1. I mean, because realistically, he didn't beat Kaido in a 1v1. He couldn't beat Big Mom in a 1v1. He didn't even beat Doflamingo in a 1v1. I mean, obviously, though, I you know, at this point in time, he would probably beat him. He'd probably beat him. I don't know if I'd say necessarily easily, but it would be like a guarantee he'd win pretty much in a 1v1. It wouldn't really have to worry too much. Anyways, though, and then the guy was saying, he was like, oh, he's like, Big Mom, he's like, yeah, Big Mom was lost to Kid in Law. And I was like, buddy, Big Mom did not lose to Kid in Law. She lost to the planet. Alright? They couldn't beat her in a fight. They hit her with everything they had, and she was still coming at them. They were gonna die. She was going to kill them. You know how she lost? Because they sent her to the planet's core. They couldn't beat her in a fight. They had to get rid of her. They had to get rid of her because they couldn't beat her. Like, it's like saying, you know, like, Batman beating Superman with kryptonite. That's not Batman beating Superman, that's the kryptonite beating Superman. It's like, I could do that. If I had kryptonite, I could beat Superman. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's the kryptonite beating Superman. It wouldn't be me beating Superman. So, people going on, so him going on about, like, oh, you know, Big Mom lost to Law and Kaido. If they didn't have the whole thing where they, like, sent her down, because like, Law opened up the hole to the fucking Earth's core, and then, like, Kid just, like, shoved her down with his, like, attack. Like, she was, and even then, when after she got hit with all that, she was still alive. It was just that she, you know, she got fucking melted and stuff in the planet's core. Like, if he couldn't just, if Law couldn't open that hole to, like, send her away to the depths of hell, like Big Mom was beating her. It wasn't that she, like, you know, lost to them. It was just, they sent her away. They had to just remove her from the equation because they couldn't win. But so, you know, like, the point is that Luffy is a fraud Yonko. The original 4 Yonko still remain the most powerful characters. You know? That's just how it is. Luffy is a fraud. But I guess the guy was like a Luffy fanboy or something, you know, riding him. Most people realize that Luffy, well, I don't know, it's weird. I hear about arguments about, like, Luffy being able to beat Kaido, but then most people still think he could, Kizaru would beat him, from what I've seen online. So I guess two different topics, two different, you know, groups of people arguing about different things. But, dude, and look at Kuma here. Still such a shame he's just not in this game. Makes no sense. Like, they have him. He's right there. Just make him playable. It's ridiculous. I mean, I know it's pacifist. It's not actually Kuma. I want to see something. Hold on. Can we get, like, can we get a good look at his face? Can we... Oh, I got a trophy. It's cool. Even though I didn't do anything. Can we... Hold on. Kuma, can we... I don't think... Alright, hold on. I'm gonna try to just pause on... Right there! Ah, fuck. Wait, a little higher? No. Fuck! I need to pause on his face. You'll see why in a second. Or actually, well, you guys could probably just pause the video and see for yourself. But I'm curious as well. Kuma, please, just do me a solid, because I don't want to... Whatever. Let's kill him. What I was gonna say is that Kuma, he originally, like, so Kuma, if you watch Egghead Island and you saw the Kuma flashbacks, Kuma has glasses. Before they, like, you know, before he became the monster, he had glasses. But I am positive that his original design, he never had glasses. Like, in his pacifista form, his, you know, when we first see him on, what's the place called, Thriller Bark? He did not have glasses. He didn't. And now, and like, you know, I thought to myself, oh, well, he used to have glasses, and then when they, you know, Vegapunk modified him, they just gave him, like, the white robot eyes and stuff. Because it made sense for him to have, like, you know, normal eyes before the... Oh, speaking of Kizaru here's the main man himself. One of the best entrances of all time in the show. But anyways, back to Kuma. Kuma, it was always just the white eyes. Now, in all new art of him, they make it so those white eyes are his glasses. Like, buddy, what are we doing? Vegapunk turned him into this, like, ultimate robot. He doesn't need the glasses anymore. You can just make him fucking the robot eyes that, like, you know, can see and and actually, his eyes do that, because he does, like, the lock-on, like, the like, you know, and he does, like, the thing or whatever. He's got, like, the robot vision and shit, like... So meanwhile, he doesn't even need the glasses. But I'm just like... I'm just like, I know he originally didn't. It was just the white eyes as part of his design. But now they try to play it off as his glasses. Like, yeah, he had glasses before he became a robot dude, a cyborg, whatever. But afterwards, no. But now, like, yeah, like, all, like, Akuma figures and, you know, whenever he's seen in the show now, post-robotic transformation, they like now they draw a line in between the two white eyes. Now they draw a line to signify its glasses. And I'm like, that wasn't there originally. And even some of the old what is it scenes, you actually do see it sometimes, where it's just like the two eyes separate. Because it's like the thing is you can say like, oh, but because the hat's lowered, you don't see the top part. But then sometimes you do see the top part, and there's no glasses line there. And now it's there now. I hate retcons in like shows and shit, and then like character design changes like that, where it's like they're just like, oh yeah, this character just, you know, they look this way now even though they originally wasn't part of their design, but just because we just do it for the sake of doing it. And it's like I hate that. I just like, it's not a big deal, but to me it's just like, I don't know. I don't like when things get changed like from its like original design. Like you could say like I would literally rather them just like give Kuma glasses than to just change it to make it seem as if he always had glasses. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and of course I'm still talking about him as robot mode, not him like human mode. But like I would literally rather them, like, I'd be fine if they were just like, if they just gave Robot Kuma glasses. Like he was like, my eyes are malfunctioning because of the robots of whatever. I need glasses, give me glasses. And then they just did that. I literally would not care. Literally wouldn't care. But it's just because they just did it without any like actual like story reason. It's just like, oh yeah, we just change it, and then it's just always like that now. I'm like, no. Like, don't be doing that, man. I know One Piece live action, I think they're filming it. I think filming's still going on for it. I don't think it's under wraps yet. But I think this season, I wonder, you know what, as someone who is an avid hater of One Piece live action, that first season, I despise it. I actually, like, despise is the word I would use. I really do. But as someone who does, I think that the second season is gonna be a good season. I don't know why. It's just my feeling. Like, when it came to the first season, I don't remember how. I think I went into it blind. I don't think I had any feelings beforehand. I think I was just like, I didn't like some of the casting choice. I was like, I don't know about this. But other than that, like, for the sake of the show itself, I was just like, all right, yeah. I was like, well, you know, see how it is. And then hated it. But season 2, the reason I think it's going to be good is because I feel like this season, they're actually going to stick more to the story. I could be wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong, and they absolutely butcher One Piece again. But that was my biggest hate with the first season, is just like how much they changed the story about, like how like Kobe apparently is the main character now, not Luffy anymore. Like, whoop-de-fucking-do. Guy's not supposed to show up till the end of the Water 7 Ennis lobby. But there he is, throughout everything. I think Garp too, but whatever. It makes no sense. And fucking my boy Don Krieg. I love Don Krieg. And they just did him dirty. We didn't even get the Luffy Don Krieg fight. They were just like, oh, he just dies in 1 second from Mihawk, and then we never see him again. Why even put him in the... Don't even bother putting him in the show at that point. Like, the fucking disrespect. Come on. They even just did a callback. They even just did a callback to him in the story right now. They show him like most characters reading the newspaper and everything. Whenever anything happens, they're like, oh, remember these characters? Here they are again. They're not gonna do anything except read a newspaper, but at least you get to see them for all those, you know, fans out there. But this season, I feel like they're gonna stick more to the story. I think there's gonna be less fucking changes and stuff, which hopefully, I don't know. But I don't know, that's just kind of the feeling I get. And then this season we're gonna have Smoker, we're gonna have Robin and Crocodile Island. It's gonna be cool. I don't know who's playing the Baroque Works people. I think, I could be wrong. I think for Mr. 3 though, I think the guy who plays Polka Dot Man from Suicide Squad. Oh shit! You know, can I say that? Because I was thinking about the movie. You can't say that word on YouTube. But Well, anyways, it's regards to the movie with Harley Quinn and all that stuff, so algorithm, don't screw me. I'm not talking about, you know, other things. I'm talking about Harley Quinn and Deathstroke and all that stuff. Hopefully it's fine, whatever. Anyway, but the guy from that movie, I remember seeing, like, posts about it. I'm not sure if it was just people wanted him to play him or if he is playing him. I remember people wanted What's-Her-Face to play Dr. Crulia, whatever. Cruella, whatever her name is. The one from Freaky Friday. What's her name? Oh my gosh. I don't know her name, but like I know exactly what she looks like, but they were like, oh, she was like, I would love to play her. Well, that would be great. And people were like, yeah, she'd be a great choice, but then they didn't put her. Oh, that's right. So so they have Crocodile and stuff in, but are we gonna go through? Oh, and Vivi. I don't know if I've seen Vivi. I don't. No, I think did Vivi get casted? I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, we gotta go to Drum Island. Oh, we gotta do Laboon. You gotta do Laboon and Crocus. Then you gotta do Drum Island. You can get Chopper. Then you gotta go to... Oh, well, first, before even any of that, they gotta do Loguetown with Smoker. And then... Yeah, and then, and Alabasta. So I don't know how they're gonna fit all of that in. Maybe they won't do it. Maybe Alabasta will be season 3, but they have Crocodile, so I feel like they're gonna do it. But maybe it's more like, maybe they'll do a little bit of Alabasta. Maybe they'll get to the beginning of Alabasta. Maybe it ends with Luffy getting defeated by Crocodile that first time. Alright, how we on time? 22 minutes? Alright, hopefully that's the end of this. I think we just gotta go over here, fight. I think we just gotta beat Sentomara and then it ends the level. Or, well, then there's Kizaru too. There's a treasure chest around here. Does that have food? You have food for me? Yes! Alright, we're at full health. Beautiful. Dude, I remember my first time hearing Kizaru's new voice was actually this game. This game was the first time hearing it, and I've gotten used to it now. But when it first changed, ooh, I was not happy. Not that the person did a bad job. It's much better than the Frankie voice actor change. That is so completely different. But in regards to Kizaru, it's you know, it's at least close. But I like Kizaru's original voice actor better. Kizaru's original voice actor, one of my favorites. He does Sakaki from Kenichi, History's Mightiest Disciple. Shio Sakaki, the 100-degree Street Fighter. Or maybe it's the 1000-degree. The 1000-degree Street Fighter. He's my favorite of all the teachers and stuff, or the senseis, the mentors, the kung fu masters, whatever you want to call them in Kenichi. But he was my favorite of them. He was great. And then I did love, I forget his name. The guy who, because they're all different. I remember there's Kensei Ma. He was the one who was, I think it was Chinese Kung Fu is what he did. Then you have Shigure, who was the weapons master. She did like use the sword and all that stuff, among, you know, various other weapons. And then there was Apachai, who was the boxer. He was the master of like kickboxing and shit. Yeah, Sakaki was he was a street fighter in karate. And then my other favorite, I always forget his name. I think he was judo. I think he was a judo master, because I remember him doing a lot of like throws and stuff. But I loved him too. He was great. He was really cool, and he did like he was always like he was very civil. I mean, except for when they're absolutely obliterating Kenichi in training. But he You know, he was a polite guy compared to the rest of them who were pretty rowdy. And he did like, yeah, he liked poetry and stuff, and he was a craftsman. He made like giant like statues that would be used for training and stuff. It was cool. Always forget his name. And then I forget the name of the grandfather who was the head of the dojo. He was the most powerful of them all. I forget what his like martial arts stuff was, but he was cool. We didn't see him as much. I think it was like Fuji or something. Fujisaki maybe? Fujin something like that, I think. It's been so long since I watched. But Kenichi, if you haven't watched Kenichi, one of the greatest of all time. Literally one of the greatest. It came out in the early 2000s, which literally, if that came out today, oh, it would be huge. People would love it. It's only 50 episodes. There is an OVA that continues. The OVA was never dubbed. The dub for it is great. It has a fantastic dub. The OVA, if you watch that afterwards, it's only in, I think the OVA is like up to 10 episodes maybe, or it could be less, maybe it's like 8. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's, you know, you get some story after the story. But yeah, it's only in Japanese. But it's sadly, I think the manga like is wrapped up. Well, you know, wrapped up as a long time ago, 20 years, whatever. But yeah, the anime just never continued. Sadly, wish it did. But you know, it was before anime was mainstream, so unless you were the very top of the game, your anime was not going from start to finish. Odds were. Now that anime is mainstream, though, everything gets to go from start to finish, mostly. Kizaru just freaked me out, because when he was doing that light kick, there was like some like particle effects with it on the screen, and one of them was just going straight across, and it was just a little smidge, and I thought it was like a little like bug, like a little gnat or something crawling across my TV, and I was like, bro, do I gotta squash this thing right now? I was like, please. Thankfully, it was just Kizaru's attack. Dude, another thing regarding the admirals, I said it at the start, but admirals being Yonko level stuff. Like, I don't know if you all remember this, but remember when the whole stuff was going on with Big Mom and Kaido in Wano? Or, well, you know, them, you know, the whole ordeal with, you know, you had Law, and, well, you had a bunch of the worst generation there, and Big Mom and Kaido. Anyway, point was, Kizaru and Akinu were in the office together, and because Akinu's the new fleet admiral, and Kizaru said to them, you know, regarding that whole Wano situation, he's like, oh, you want me to go over there and clean up the mess? You know, no hesitation. Akinu was like, you stay right where you are, like, you know, because Akinu was like, no. But anyways, you think Kizaru would just willy-nilly offer to go wrap stuff up with Kaido and Big Mom if he wasn't, like, at their level? Like, obviously, I don't think Kizaru would beat Kaido and Big Mom and stuff. But people think that they're just not at that level. If they weren't, Kizaru wouldn't just be all like, and Kizaru likes to just chill most of the time, too. But he offered to Kaido. What if he just said yes? Kizaru would have been like, alright, and then he would have went over. So you're telling me they're not at the level, yet he literally offered to go, like, wrap up Wano? Like, I'm not saying he would win, he wouldn't, but he's up there. He's up there. Alright, we defeated enemies, clear time, whoop-de-doo, cool. Got all this done. We're gonna pick up, obtain Zoro Map 2, cool. Is this gonna, you know, before I press next, let's end this episode here, because I don't know if it's gonna go into a cutscene, and I plan on doing another recording right after this one anyway, so we're just gonna pick up from right here in the next episode. I'll see you guys there. Peace out. Bye-bye.